Hello and welcome to the Lucky Hit podcast.
Hello, that sounded amazing.
Welcome. This is episode 92 on the 21st of October 2020. And we're actually doing this one on YouTube and Twitch today, which makes a change. Yeah. So, I'm the Gagaman.
I'm CherryT.
Murry Curry.
I'm ShelvedGamer.
I'm Hunk Thunder.
And what up? It's Big Elk, and welcome to the Lucky Hit podcast.
It's your boy.
Podcast. That's
Biggie Elky in the house.
So, yeah, I thought we would do things a little bit different this time and actually put the main topic at the start of the podcast rather than the end, because the main topic is about Lucky Hit. Because you may have noticed about that, I'm trying to figure out how to describe it really, but there's been a bit of a shift about how we do things. And I just kind of wanted to go into what exactly is going on. So basically, me, ShelvedGamer, Hunk Thunder, and soon Murry Curry and CherryT, we've all been basically setting up Twitch accounts, like our own individual Twitch accounts, and we've been streaming pretty regularly, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, and I was just thinking to try and basically nip this in the bud. People were probably looking at and seeing, oh well, Lucky Hit's done then, isn't it? It's finished. It's not going to be a thing anymore. That's not the case.
No.
I just wanted to emphasise that that's definitely not the case. If anything, this is our way of basically just having Lucky Hit as a big umbrella of us lot doing streams when we want to, without it all having to be restricted to just one channel, if that makes sense. So like we all sort of do our own thing, but it also, it all still ties in, I guess.
I guess it's kind of like these big groups like Normal Boots and Screw Attack back in the day. Yeah. Where Lucky Hit is like a greater umbrella for our individual projects as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if, because I want to say we pretty much all kind of inspired each other to do this, and it sort of became like a domino effect where each one of us just saw what the other one was doing and was like, oh, maybe we should try that. And it just snowballed into this thing, didn't it?
Yeah, propping each other up, and it's been very productive, I think.
Oh, extremely productive. So. Yeah. Not only productive in the fact that we're putting out more content than... I mean, we've been putting loads of content out on Lucky Hit as is, but I feel like now we're putting even more content out. Like we've pretty much all been streaming roughly daily for the last week, haven't we?
Pretty much, yeah. That's the thing. I mean, we would often do one thing a day, which is an insane amount of content on Lucky Hit, but we're now splitting this up into lots and lots of smaller off-the-cuff things over on Twitch. So the actual amount of content is much more vast and much more varied.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
For example, when I launched my personal Twitch, it's a mix of playing games but also animating and drawing, which is something I haven't done on live stream for about 8 years. Like before I was even doing Lucky Hit, I was using a website called livestream.com.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know if you remember that one. Procaster.
Yeah, I don't think I've even heard of that.
Yeah, it's the old days of live streaming.
Not this one.
Yeah, this is even older than Justin TV. It's dog old. In internet years, it's ancient history. But yeah, I used to like stream commissions and when I was working on animations and stuff back then, and I thought, I might as well give that a go now, and it's actually really helped motivate me to just keep going. Like it's one thing when you're like sitting there trying to draw or play a specific game or whatever, and you can easily get distracted, but when you're streaming it, it feels like it forces you to focus on it more.
Yeah.
Like, for example, with both Hunk Thunder and ShelvedGamer, you've both been practicing on Donkey Kong, haven't you?
Yep.
Preparing for the double Donkey Kong.
Yeah. It'll be as epic
Sounds
as
like an anus act.
Double Donkey Kong.
Gonna do double Donkey Kong, not tonight.
Double
no.
expand
Carry on.
I'm disgusted now. I'm put off.
I feel like we've got to change the name now.
Yeah,
that's the one.
it's just something that I know myself and ShelvedGamer can do. Sort of like score 100,000 points, and maybe the next target will be 150,000, then 200,000, and go upwards and upwards. So it is just.
Keep going, you can make your own chili.
Yeah.
That's the end goal of all Donkey Kong players.
Yeah. With a hot sauce deal.
Oh, that's it, hot sauce, not chili.
It always comes back to Billy Mitchell one way or the other, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not even like
Every
each
time.
And I thought we were done talking about Billy Mitchell. We haven't heard any news about him in a while, haven't we?
No.
And yet he still comes up every week. More or less.
But yeah, I mean, this was something that me and Hunk Thunder were doing for fun outside of streaming. We were just a while back, we would sort of, or at least I was training to try and beat his high score that he had in the arcades. And I think doing it with streams has given us motivation to really push with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah,
There's something to be said for streaming that does kind of, it motivates you in a way that just doing it on your own, just trying to animate or trying to focus on a certain video game and practice it up is a bit harder, I suppose, in some ways. And what I want to say about Lucky Hit, because we do have Lucky Hit Live on Twitch as well, is that channel will probably be focused on group streams, so stuff we're all doing together. So, for example, this podcast, like what we're doing right now, but also when we're doing streams that involve a few of us, like for example Salt or Hype, we'll probably do that on Lucky Hit Live because it usually involves at least 3 of us, so that seems like a good way of putting that together. And I guess another thing I should say about this is this probably sounds a little bit selfish, but it kind of takes the pressure off me a little bit, because it feels like it pretty much was a way that if anyone wanted to stream on the Lucky Hit YouTube, it kind of had to go through me first, and it was like we needed to come up with a thumbnail and do all that kind of stuff. Whereas now we don't really have to worry about that stuff until after the fact.
Yeah.
And I still want to get it to the point where if any of us streams anything that we want to cut together into like a little highlights video, and we want to put that on the Lucky Hit YouTube, that's also an option as well. So it doesn't mean the YouTube channel is not going to stop. We're still going to be using that to place, highlights of our streams, and also maybe some of the entire streams. Like, for example, what I'm going to do with Splunky to Hell with it is I'm going to stream it simultaneously on Lucky Hit's YouTube channel, but also my personal Twitch. And then CherryT is going to be playing the Pokemon DLC on Friday, and we're going to do that on the YouTube channel and CherryT's Twitch channel, which you've just opened, haven't you?
I also recently renamed.
Yeah. Basically, I had a dormant Twitch account sitting around for about over 11 years that I barely used, and I just renamed it to Animated AF and started from there, because I never actually technically used it. I think I just used it for commenting on other streams. But
yeah, I think I've had mine for about 5 years, and all that. It's still there. I just basically put a new thumbnail on it.
Yeah. Basically same for me. Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, me and Hunk Thunder are not in a position where we can use Restream anymore.
It's such a shame.
This money.
Yes, all the money. But so.
Is that a thing of being an affiliate? Is it?
Yeah, you have to give a complete, I think it's full day Twitch exclusivity to your VODs before you're allowed to move them anywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know the finer details on that, but I know Restream is definitely not allowed.
So obviously if Lucky Hit Live got to the point where it was affiliate, or if any of our stuff was affiliate, then obviously that stuff will be live on Twitch first and then edited later or YouTube, because that's just how it is. But both both ShelvedGamer and Hunk Thunder, you've been doing so well on there. You both hit 50 followers today, didn't you?
Yeah, we both hit affiliate today. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know if you've got your invite through yet.
Yeah, that's about that. I'm actually just a teeny tiny bit behind.
Oh, okay.
You know my average viewers. I'm currently on
okay.
2.9.
That happened to me.
When I need 3, just like, come on, people.
Jeez. Yeah, so because there's basically like 4 steps, isn't there, that you need to get simultaneously within 30 days to get to the affiliate state, isn't there? It's, 50 followers.
Hours streamed, 7 hours streamed, I think.
That's easy.
Yeah.
7 days.
7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
And average viewers.
Yeah.
Over 3. So, well, if you do another stream, all we have to do is all of 3 of us sit in your chat for the whole stream, essentially, even if we're just lurking.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, that's the thing. We've been sort of helping each other out in a way, haven't we? I mean, we always sort of just watched everything we've been doing together anyway, because that's just what we do. It's a group thing, especially with the way the world has been this year. It's been a nice way of being connected, because obviously me and Stacey live up in Notts now. We're quite a far distance away from you guys now, so being able to, this whole situation is what got us to start streaming almost daily on YouTube again. But as you've sort of seen, the YouTube side of things for streaming is, I mean, it works well, but it's just a bit hard to get people involved on YouTube. I think YouTube's more for edited videos than it is for streaming. I know there are some people that stream on there, but already, just from using it for the last few days, I feel like now that I'm getting used to Twitch's systems and how it all works and how the community side of it stuff, there's definitely a much stronger community focus on Twitch than there is YouTube. It doesn't feel like it's all just about like sponsorship deals and all this garbage that YouTube's become. It feels a lot more community driven, and like sometimes you'll get new people pop in just from being in the category and whatnot, and it's really nice. It feels really good so far. I've only been doing it for a few days, and already it feels it's quite good.
It feels bright, if you know what I mean. It has a sort of, it feels like there's traction, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
I know it's early days, but there might be walls that you hit, but I feel like we're already at the stage that some of the times it could be with the YouTube channel, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like
no, totally.
Chatter,
Yeah, exactly.
So for like less than a couple weeks worth of really giving it a proper bash, it's shown big returns already.
Definitely.
And it's not just each other just sitting in each other's chat.
No, exactly. No, it's not just that. No.
Yeah, so
you have been getting quite a few new people come in that have just stumbled on your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So it's it's been a breath of fresh air, and I like I say, I don't want to give the impression that this means that Lucky Hit's done, because it's something I had in my mind from the start that I didn't want that to be how it went.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you remember I was mentioning this quite a few months ago to you, wasn't I, ShelvedGamer, about how I'd like to do it anyway. So we were talking about this a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I just said basically what I'm about to say now is the fact that for me at the moment I can't jump into this fully because I just don't have the setup to do it, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
It could be when I move in another year or so time. It could be hopefully less than that, but it's just at this precise moment in time, life's a bit too chaotic for me to be able to say, oh, I can sit down a couple of evenings a week and definitely be able to stream. But I really can't wait to, though.
I mean, you never know. You might be able to do like late night streams.
That's basically what I'm going to be able to do when I can do it. Yeah. It'll be like a sort of midnight onwards kind of arrangement, I think.
Yeah. So I think we should all give this a fair punt. And like we did when we not that the channel ever died, but sort of like almost like the reboot during this lockdown. to really hit the ground running again. And it felt...
One thing I'll have to mention with Lucky Hit in general is this has actually been our busiest year ever. We've been doing this for like 8 years, and this is by far the most we've ever done in 1 year. Obviously we're not doing edited videos at the moment, but in terms of just even just numbers of videos on our YouTube channel has actually just passed. With this video has just passed our busiest year ever, which I think was 2016 or 17, something like that. But yeah, either way, yeah, it's the way I look at it, Lucky Hit is just us lot right here.
Yeah,
it's
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So with that, that's that out of the way. Let's go into what we've been playing. I don't know who wants to start.
I'll go first.
Righto.
Just trying to think of the last 2 weeks because we missed last week. But yeah, I've been playing some Animal Crossing as usual. Halloween theme of my island is going very well now.
Oh, nice.
I'm ready for the 31st.
I did see some screenshots of it.
Yeah. I will probably be showing it off a bit more soon, being
Nice.
that it's Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Or in 10 days' time. So
Ooh, yeah, it's that soon, isn't it?
yeah. What else? Some Super Mario 35, which I still haven't got a win since like the first day, but I found out via Twitter earlier today, if I was to reach level 100, of which I'm, as of right now, level 47,
Ooh, nice.
basically unlock Luigi.
Yeah, this
So-
was literally just discovered by someone, wasn't it?
Yeah.
On Twitter, I believe it. They just hit like level 100, which is like a star ranking, and then they found if you press like a certain button before you start the match, you play as Luigi,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, they just thought, okay, this might be an Easter egg. Just hold down the L button and carried on. And yeah, they unlocked Luigi, which I'm
So you have
definitely
to
going to be.
So you have to be 100 as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
blimey.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you do have to work for it, but and yeah, as far as I'm aware, it's not actually like Super Mario Brothers 2 Luigi, where you can jump high and skid a bit more. But
okay. So
hopefully,
I guess it's for balance's sake.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I suppose it would be a bit unfair if you like taking out 34 other players just by jumping a bit higher.
Yeah, that's true.
What else? I've been using my PC a lot for a certain game called Spelunky 2.
Hey.
So yeah, I'm watching Murry Curry stream. I'm watching the Gagaman stream. I just can't work out where I'm going wrong. I haven't actually made it to World 2 yet. So
Have you
Because it's
played? You haven't played the first one, have you?
no. So
That's
I'm literally going in
probably
fresh.
not helping because, like,
Yeah,
you can sort of get so far in the second one if you've got the muscle memory from the first one, but obviously
Yeah.
that doesn't get you all the way, but it gets you far enough that you've got a gist of what to expect.
yeah. Literally, when I first played it like a couple of weeks ago, I was just like, well, why does that button do this? Why does that button do that? And eventually I got used to it and everything's coming as like second nature now. So hopefully going forward, I'll
Just gotta keep going through the pain.
yeah. I wouldn't say it's painful watching Gagaman play, but it's just the frustration. I do
Yes.
understand it now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Salt is real.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the rage. One doesn't upset me as much as two does. Two's just not fair. Like to the point where they actually had to release a patch. Was it last week or this week? where they had to-
less moles in the first two
Yeah.
levels or something.
They had to, and traps as well, because I think sometimes they just place arrow traps everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like there you go. They've actually had to make the first world easier.
Yeah.
I think that says it all, really.
Yeah. And last game I've been playing, not that I've been like on it all the time, but 2 Point Hospital.
Oh,
Oh,
And
cool.
the main reason
Very
for
good
that, it is. main reason for that is because the Sega Anniversary DLC was released.
Oh yes.
So you could have an Outrun machine, a Sega Periscope arcade game.
You can have
that's cool.
Space Harrier in your hospital.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
which isn't
I
creepy
would
at all.
go to a hospital that has that. Just
I know
so
you
I could.
You
Break
would,
your own legs, you could go.
Yeah, I just break my own leg and go, oh no, my leg's broken. Oh,
just
can I
drink
go
some
play
shit.
Space Harrier?
so yeah, that's been my week.
Oh, fair
Or
enough.
2 weeks as well. So yeah.
Okay, can I go next? I guess because
No.
No.
oh,
Go on then.
yeah, just because me and Hunk Thunder have essentially been playing the same game to a certain extent. So
Nice.
first, the last week before this, I've been playing a lot of Galaga.
Oh yeah.
I've just been going through an old game binge, so I've been playing quite a bit of that. I'm not very good at Galaga, but I try.
It really is. It really is like the needle in a haystack shooter, isn't it? In terms of your bullets are the needle, and
Every
the
hitbox
enemies
is
are whatever you're trying to hit in the haystack.
yeah, if the hay moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been playing a bit of that, but I put it down for the next game that I've been playing, which has been mentioned. Me and Halfred have been playing a lot of Donkey Kong.
Oh yes.
On the stream, and
Yeah.
I did beat my personal best on stream, so I am happy about that, but only just. So I'm on like 117,000 on Donkey Kong.
So you're talking about the Donkey Kong arcade game, right?
Yes,
Yep.
yes, the Arcade Archives release, international version. So yeah,
Is there
I
a
have
difference between?
yes, actually quite a big one. Japan, from the first loop, you will play every level in sequential order, and then you go into the second loop. In the international version, you do the first level, which is the barrel stage, and then straight to the final stage. Then you're in the second loop, the barrel stage, then the spring stage, then the final stage.
I did not know this.
Yeah, and then the third loop, it adds in the quote-unquote pie factory, and then the final stage. And then it does it like that.
Interesting.
And I think it's in order to get you into the higher loops quicker, so you die quicker in the arcade version.
Yeah.
That checks out.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So most people, obviously, like people like Billy Mitchell and that, are using the international version as the basis for the high score.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's probably the version most people grew up with.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I've been playing that. I'm basically at the point where I get to loop 4 on the spring stage is where it just gets, you either know how to do it or you don't.
That spring stage is a pain. Those springs.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is a pattern to it though.
There
Really?
is. It's a very, very precise pattern, but there is one. Yeah.
There were a couple
Actually-
of times I noticed you guys were like jumping for a platform and just barely missed it by like a pixel and just fell off.
Yeah, the weeby jump. Until he discovered that people used to have to go down the bottom and all the way around, which is just tedious. So yeah, no, the springs, they have like a long spring and a short spring, and you have to move past the ladder and stand by the yellow girder when it's a short spring. Then you have to stand there until you see a long spring, and when you see the long spring, then you run forward and hope that it's not another second long spring coming up afterwards, or you'll get hit. You have to hope it's a short spring after that, then you can climb the ladder, and it moves very fast. So you have to be on it.
Insanely fast.
Yeah. So that's kind of the wall that I've hit. Hit it.
I like it.
That's a new one.
It's Shakespearean in a way.
Oh, piddle.
So yeah, that's where I'm at, and I can't realistically get my score much higher than 100,000 unless I can like reliably get past that. So I've been practicing that segment to get better at it. So yeah. Oh, and one more game I've been playing. I have been playing Space Crew that came out the other day.
Right.
I don't know if anyone has heard of the game Bomber Crew by Runner Duck.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I've seen it about, but I don't know much about it.
It's essentially, I hesitate to use the word sim, tactics game. You basically have to move the crew around the ship or the plane in Bomber Crew, and you have to go you'll have to bomb a location like in Germany or something, and then come back, and then you basically have to manage your crew so they don't die and all doing their job properly. And Space Crew is essentially that in space, and it's really fun, all but hard. So yeah, and it's cool because it's got when you're designing your ship, it has a little sprite editor, so you can have your own little design on the side of your ship, which is really cool. So you can fly the Lancaster bomber with like your own little Gagaman logo if you wanted, or So yeah,
That's not like those ship designs I've been seeing in the Discord were.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
It makes sense now.
Or at least the first one was based on that.
That was for
So yeah, that's about all I've been playing, really. Yeah.
Chopping stuff. I hope I didn't pick up.
So who wants to go next?
Go on in. I've been playing sort of a bunch of stuff this last week. One of the first things I did was late last week. There was a little sale just before the Halloween sale on the PS4, and there wasn't a lot of stuff in there of interest, but a couple of things popped out that I've been wanting to try for a while. One of which was SteamWorld Dig, which has been on my radar for a little while. It just looked interesting.
Love that game.
Yeah, it's really good. It's how can I describe it really? Because it's I suppose you could say it's a bit of a platform puzzler, but it's not really that puzzly.
It's Valkyria Chronicles, but 2D essentially.
Oh, okay. No, I think no, you're thinking of Heist.
Oh, you said Dig. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, I have also been playing Heist. Dig's
Dig.
like a sort of platform puzzler, but it's not really it's not really too puzzly. It's just you're essentially just digging down into this huge mine. It just keeps going and going and going, and then you get down to the bottom and you discover there's just loads of different sort of worlds. It's a little bit Spelunky-ish, if I'm being honest.
It is.
It's got that same theme to it. Maybe that's why I liked it. I really enjoyed that. That was fun, and that was literally down to £1.50 on the sale when it's usually about £8 or something like that. So I thought, that's good. Yeah, I've been wanting to try it for a while. I then discovered after I bought it and played all the way through it, that I had already grabbed it on Steam.
Wow,
that's the problem with
so
Steam,
many
isn't
times.
it? Yeah, I grabbed it as a humble bundle. I'm sure I did, and just forgot about it. But still, it's cool. Yeah, I got it for cheap on the PS4. Got some trophies out of it. Enjoyed it. I only did the one playthrough of that. I then grabbed SteamWorld Heist, and that had me hooked for a lot longer. That's like like ShelvedGamer said, it's like Valkyria Chronicles 2D. It's like a sort of 2D turn-based tactical shooter, I guess you'd call it. And I like that because it's gone with this 2D look to it. You can do things like the ricochet shots and stuff like that. You can do some really good shots. Like you can bounce all around the level and stuff like that. But yes, it's really, really, really addictive, that one. I always like those kind of games anyway, like something that's got a bit of strategy to it. And
obsessed with hats.
Yeah. Yes, the game has a huge obsession with hats. One of the biggest mechanics in it is that you can shoot your enemies off and collect them.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like a Pokemon of headwear. Really, really good. What I like about these games is you can tell the creators. I think they're are they Nordic? They're
so,
European, and they you can see they're sort of going for this. It's kind of similar to Oddworld. I think SteamWorld, Oddworld. I think that's what they're doing. They're doing this thing where they're building a whole bunch of games, trying to build up this sort of connected universe. And I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's got this lovely hand-drawn aesthetic with steampunk kind of thing going on. Like instead of humans, I'm going to guess that in this world humans have died out.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they're Swedish, the development team.
There we go. And yeah, basically so you're always playing as like these steam-driven automatons, and they've got this really good look to them. Again, very Oddworldish. I think that's kind of what they were going for, or at least their own version of it. Obviously, it would be
like diesel punk kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be one of those. Oh, it looks like that sort of thing, but yeah. I just can't help but get that kind of vibe. Maybe the inspiration is quite sort of on display there. So yeah, I've got my eye on. I really enjoyed those two. I've got my eye on SteamWorld Dig 2 because that looks pretty good.
Apparently, that game is the best in the series. I've heard a lot of people saying
That's what I've
amazing.
I've heard that too.
Well, I'm looking forward to that then. And then I only just heard from ShelvedGamer a couple of days ago that they've got another one out, SteamWorld Quest, which is like a sort of fantasy card battler thing. And that looks really good as well. So, yeah, I really like these guys, and I hope they keep making these games. I love creators who make these sort of interconnected universes with their games. I'm really into that.
Like what happened with Teslagrad and Well to the West and that. Yeah.
Exactly, yes. And, those guys are fantastic as well, and I can't wait for Teslagrad 2. Well to the West was amazing as well. I don't think we really talked too much about that.
No.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And other than that, I've been playing today, literally just today, this morning, we got Prinny Exploded and Reloaded. It's the two PSP games. Prinny, Can I Really Be the Hero? And let me just check what the other one's called. The second one's called Prinny 2 Dawn of Operation Panties Dude.
That's a title.
Yes, I never played the second one, but I did play the first one. And playing it again, I remembered that I liked it a lot because I really like the Sega games anyway. And I like the fact that it was a platformer. And it's I always say, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but I always say it's very much like Ghouls and Ghosts. It's got that kind of control scheme going on. Like you got the double jump, and it's that same thing where it's one of those games where when you jump, you've committed to it. You can't stop that jump, if you know what I mean. Like you can't slow down or change direction. You're flinging yourself in that direction. It's a commitment. It's like Castlevania, Ghouls and Ghosts, that kind of thing. But yeah, and the difficulty of it as well. But yeah, time has made me forget just how horrible that game could be. I was screaming at it just before the stream. There's a really, I mean, it's just, I won't ruin it, but yeah, seriously, check it out and you'll see what I mean. The difficulty is, sometimes it makes Ghouls and Ghosts look quite fair.
Yeah, I mean,
it might make you appreciate Splunky 2 more, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that it's a game that got preserved from the PSP because obviously with all the batteries on PSPs essentially combusting on themselves.
I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that happening. In fact, funny enough, I would like to see that Ghouls and Ghosts on PSP. That was brilliant.
Oh,
yes.
That was Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yeah, that was really good. I played all the way through that. I also really liked the Dracula X collection. There's so much stuff on PSP. It's a really great,
fantastic remakes on that system.
Absolutely.
Goddamn Gradius collection. Damn it.
And in terms of performance, because I know that you're a little bit worried, ShelvedGamer, at the moment, I can say it plays spectacularly, really smooth.
How are the visuals? Because obviously it was sprites for a PSP, which, SD console.
It's, basically, it's, I wouldn't say it looks like proper sharp and HD. It doesn't. It does have that kind of softness, if you know what I mean, to it. It's got that going on.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, so it's not sharp. It hasn't been, even though it says exploded and reloaded, it is pretty much a straight port. Right. But so you got sprites on 3D backgrounds, and for my money, I'd say it looks pretty good. Just don't expect it to be like ultra sharp or anything like that.
It's probably fine in handheld mode, I would imagine.
I've only played. No, I did play a little bit on handheld. I thought that looked all right. And I played it on the big screen, and that I still think it holds up quite well, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's just.
The one thing I wanted more than the looks was just to know if it was going to play smoothly enough, and at least with one, it does.
Yeah, I imagine 2's in the same engine anyway, so yeah.
I'll be able to tell you next week, I imagine. I'm going to finish screaming at the first one.
Yeah.
I've never properly finished it. I did because you do this thing where you play through about 6 levels and you do different routes through them and you collect all of these different ingredients for doing them different ways. And if you do them all, you unlock this fiendishly hard last level. And I think that's where I got to on the PSP. It's like a ridiculous last level.
Yeah, well, now do ZHP and then I'm happy.
So I have been playing a few bits and bobs and other bits, but I think that's mainly it. Apart from, I did very quickly play through the original Metroid 2 again, just because I adore that game. Nothing much to say on that, apart from it was the 3DS version that came with the special edition of Return of Samus.
Oh yes, yeah.
They threw in like a free Game Boy code, which I really liked.
Hmm.
In fact, the best thing about that was the code came on this really nice, like proper poster with like proper nice quality paper. I like the poster more than the download code. But yeah, that's me. Yeah, it's been a pretty good week.
Cool. I hope you don't mind if I go next. I guess I could go into some of the stuff I was playing last week as well. I got back into Streets of Rage 4 because I basically took it with me on the holiday and I was playing it quite a bit over the time because obviously I've been playing the online stuff really, so I just wanted to take something that I played through it once on easy mode prior, but I really wanted to get through normal mode, and I'm still finding normal hard mode quite tough. But
you just reminded me that I should have mentioned Streets of Rage as well.
Oh yeah, I reckon because we've got something related to all of that in the news section, so we could always go into it there.
There we go.
But yeah, managed to get through most of the normal mode now, except for that last level, because there's some weapons that the enemies, if they pick them up, you're pretty much dead the second they hit you with them. So
God.
yeah, I still feel like 4 is maybe one of the toughest Streets of Rage games. It feels
even more than 3.
I'm not sure about that, but it is very tough. Yeah, especially if you're playing the Western version of 3.
I'd say Western 3 is harder.
Yeah. Like if you play the Japanese one, it's not so bad. But
okay.
Yeah. Finally feel like I'm starting to get used to some of the combo system and all that kind of stuff, because there is quite a elaborate combo system in this game, which is quite interesting. You know, it really pushes the points, and one of the really cool things about the game is the points basically accumulate to unlock pretty much all the characters from the previous 3 games, like their original chunky sprites and all.
That's what I want.
One version of them.
I unlocked Max from Streets of Rage 2, and he is frigging broken. He's sweep move, you know, where he just slides across the floor. You can pick people up with that, so you can literally just juggle people for days with his sweep. And I was just playing through the whole game, just sweeping everyone up. It was quite hilarious.
In his defense, he was kind of broken in Streets of Rage 2 as well.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, so it's accurate in that respect. He's still busted as well. Yeah, so I was playing quite a bit of that. I've been playing lots more of Raining Blobs because I've been trying to do some more of the achievements in that as well. And as you may have seen on streams on my channel, I've been playing quite a bit of Atomic Robo Kids, the Arcade Archives version on the Switch. And
Do you like punishment?
Seems like it, doesn't it? It does seem like it sometimes. Yeah, I've played through the entire game twice now on stream, and I'm basically just trying to get higher scores on that game to get up on the online leaderboards that game has, which is it's always nice when these old games have something like that. It just gives you a bit more incentive to play it, doesn't it? And yeah, that game is hard as all hell, but I still kind of really dig it. I love the way the character controls. I kind of wish he had a smaller hitbox, because sometimes it feels like bullets literally graze the top of your head and kill you, and it's all one-hit kills as well. So it's quite brutal in that respect. And those last 2 bosses are still an absolute pig. I've still yet to get through the last boss without having to save state on the second phase, because the first phase is hard enough as it is without having to battle that second phase, which is literally split-second reactions to shoot everything. But I feel like in just 2 streams of playing it, I've made a massive improvement. I literally cut a whole hour off my playthrough, so that was nice. Yeah, I think that's mostly what I've been playing. I've also gone back into Asphalt 9 Legends because they had a big update where they added a Osaka stage, which is really nice, where you drive around all the cherry blossom trees and like you go past that big temple that's in Osaka and all that kind of stuff. So that's nice. And I think that's mostly it, really. I played a little bit of Tetris 99. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Huh. Well, I guess that just leaves me and Sherry Terrier. So unless she wants to go, I'll go next.
You can go next.
Yeah, it's fine by me.
I'll take that as a no. Hi, everyone. I'm still here. So, as usual, I'm playing a game which all of y'all should be playing because y'all waited 8 years for this game, and now it's finally here, and y'all just be making excuses. And that is Phantasy Star Online 2.
Wow.
I'm kidding. I know you all priorities. And I've been skirting a lot of priorities just to play this game. So,
That's fair enough.
anyway, my own jokes are too good sometimes. So the Sakura Wars joke, is fine. Oh, god damn it! The Sakura Wars event is finally over, and they're doing a Halloween event now, which is great because even though I love the Sakura Wars vocal themes, I was just getting really sick of hearing them over and over and over while I'm in the gate area. So now there's some Halloween decorations everywhere, and they're actually playing a song from the original Phantasy Star Online, which is called Weird Night. And I'm assuming that that song used to play during Halloween events in the original game. So, for the Halloween festivities, they of course have a new Arcs Cash scratch ticket, where you can get some Halloween-themed items, Halloween-themed cosmetics, sorry, things like costumes and the like. And they have a purpose this time, because there's an all-new Trick or Treat urgent quest going on now and then. And like the Beach Wars urgent quest from August, this one nets you extra chance, a higher probability of getting some extra special items if you're wearing any of those Halloween costumes I mentioned earlier, of which I have a few. Managed to get lucky and get them not through the scratch ticket, but through the Fresh Find shop. And also, unlike the Beach Wars event, however, this one's I don't think this one's very creative compared to the Beach Wars, because this one has you on the desert planet of Lilliput, where you're supposed to battle a bunch of robotic enemies, and it's not very Halloween themed.
No, I don't really think of robots when I think of Halloween, honestly.
I mean,
Maybe
there's robots and there's fall spawn, which are I don't know if I talked about fall spawn, but they're basically monsters that take over organic life, kind of like the cordyceps from The Last of Us. But the fall spawn are of course a byproduct of dark falls. So powerful fall spawn show up during this event too. But what's neat, of course, is that when the enemies appear, they're always set up with a whole bunch of explosive barrels around them. And for some of them, there's a bunch of turrets lined up, so you can man the turrets and just shoot at the explosive barrels, which instantly take out the enemies the second they appear.
Wow,
So
that
you
sounds
don't
like
really-
most video games ever. Enemies standing
Yeah,
next to barrels and there's a turret. Yep.
Yeah.
You can't not
Yeah,
have
but
those
of
things
course,
near each other. It's not allowed.
Yeah, but this goes by really quick, so it's a lot of easy experience. And usually it comes with a lot of very rare items. Usually when the event is over, it leaves you with a bunch of Halloween rappies to beat up. Sometimes there's a Halloween Emperor rappy, which the rappies and the Emperor rappies come with exclusive Halloween items, which don't always appear after you beat them. But it is good for the. You're always guaranteed to get some kind of nice item from them. And of course, there's the music in the stage, which is just weird. It's a weird lounge vocal theme, which I have no idea what it's about. But I will say that it leaves me feeling like a ship without a sail.
Oh, is that the happy song?
I don't know.
I don't
But,
know. I thought you were referencing something.
That's a lyric that really stood out with a lot of people.
Oh, okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and then beyond that, they're also doing another Arcs Cash scratch ticket, which is just starting this week, called the Throwback Collection, which consists of a bunch of past scratch ticket items, which came after the game launched on Xbox One. So a lot of this stuff was not available for people who didn't get to play the game until it launched on PC, like myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that includes the pole dancing emote that I talked
Oh,
about
no.
a couple times, which I'm hoping I'll get a hold of. Because if you try to look, a lot of the stuff is also on the personal shop where people sell off like duplicates they get. But if you try to get the pole dance there, it costs like 30 million meseta. It's a lot.
That's an
Jeez.
expensive pole dance that you yourself do.
Other than that, though, it's a lot of costumes, and I think there's some Mag Evolution devices. I know there's also some Halloween-themed Mag Evolution devices, and yeah, that's it. But it's only for 1 week where this scratch ticket is available, whereas the Halloween one, like the Halloween event, goes on until around the midpoint of November.
That's a long Halloween.
Yeah, and
I mean,
then
rather that than
there's
Christmas
there's
before
also there's
Halloween,
also
like most
another
places.
Yep. There's also another Star Gems event going on this week where if you log in every day, you get some Star Gems for free. And if you log in 5 days consecutively, you get even more Star Gems. So it's a good idea to log into the game each day, and even if you don't actually have time to play the game that day, you can just log in, take your Star Gems, and get the heck out.
Oh, I know all about that with ESO.
Yep.
Every day of the month there's a freebie, and obviously they get better towards the end of the month, so you just want to log in every day.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Oh yeah.
Also today and tomorrow is PSO2 day again.
Ah.
So you know what I'm going to be doing as soon as we're done with the podcast.
I feel like it's always PSO2 day when we do a podcast.
Feels like it.
Not a PS2 because we skipped a week.
True.
Other than that, though, I did actually make time for some other games. Because of the Sega 60th event on Steam, I played a lot of PC Steam games, Sega games. I played all 4 of the free games, like Streets of Kamurocho, but
Yes.
I think we are gonna talk a bit about that later. So I guess
Yeah.
I'll wait until then to talk more about it.
Fair enough.
But I also played a bit of Sonic Generations on PC, as well as Sonic Adventure 2 on PC. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and for Sonic Adventure 2, I got more into the modding again because when my hard drive crashed earlier this summer, I lost most of the mods that I had for Sonic Adventure 2. So, but a couple of them had updates anyway, so it was good to refresh. And just a few days ago, someone actually made an AI upscaled texture pack for Sonic Adventure 2.
Nice.
Oh,
yeah, which is wonderful
That's
because
always cool.
because before the texture pack, the textures in the HD version of the game, they were surprisingly low quality. I don't think they even bothered upscaling any of them at all, though the game
I think it was pretty much a
actually
straight
running
port.
higher resolution. So the textures were very, very distracting. This texture pack fixes that. So now it actually looks like a true to life HD remaster
I'll have to look into
of a 20-year-old game.
Yeah, I think I've got it on Steam. I think I might have to do that.
Oh yeah. You should look for it. It's on Game Banana.
Okay.
On the Sonic Adventure 2 Game Banana page. I also played Hell Yeah, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit.
That's
which
a
I'm
good
sure
game.
is one. I'm sure that's one of those games where it's easy for people to forget that Sega actually published it. But yeah, that one actually was a good game.
I find that
have
game
not
hard to
actually played
forget
it
because it was
before.
one of the first games I talked about on Lucky Hit, like for
Yeah,
Eurogamer
really?
coverage. Yeah, when we did that Eurogamer
yeah.
coverage right at the start of the channel, that was one of the games I played there.
Oh, cool. And I guess that really speaks to how old the game is. There's a lot of stuff that a lot of random stuff that Sega used to publish on PC back then. Some of which is still available, but like Alpha Protocol, that's Sega published that too, but they took that down from Steam. Anyway, though, Hell Yeah really is a good game. I'm surprised I didn't play it a lot sooner. The game is actually really funny.
It's very strange, isn't it?
very, very, very strange. And I was surprised to find that I actually had all the DLC for the Steam version, which I don't remember getting the DLC before.
I think they just bundled it with it eventually. I think they just gave
That
it away.
that might be it. Yeah, because Sega actually did that with some of their PC games. Like Sonic Generations, Binary Domain, Renegade Ops, those all had separate DLC, which is now included with the base game.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that's what
and
it was then.
speaking of which, during the sale, I also purchased the 2 DLC packs for Binary Domain because they were both 50 cents each, and somehow I'd never actually had them until now.
Binary Domain's really good.
Binary Domain's an excellent.
The voice recognition sucks, but it's fun.
Oh yeah, the voice recognition is worthless, but other than that, it's a really cool game. Yes. I also purchased the Mania Plus DLC for Sonic Mania, as well as Tembo the Badass Elephant, 2 Point Hospital, and Endless Space 2.
Speaking of
Because
random
during the,
platformers that Sega published at some point.
Yeah.
That was by Game Freak, wasn't it?
It was by Game Freak, yes. And the art was by the guy who made the Cartoon Network show Chowder, actually.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
It had that look.
And then Endless Space 2, I have not played that yet, but I learned a bit more about it during the live stream video they were playing on the Steam page. So the game actually sounded really interesting. So I bought the starter pack. So I'm going to give it a shot later and see if I like it.
Cool.
And then other than that, I also played, finally went back to playing Judgment on the PlayStation 4.
Nice.
And and I'll just say that since it's been months since I last played Judgment, I am so glad that every time you get through a chapter in that game, they do a recap of what happened in the last chapter, like it's a TV show. Because I completely forgot everything that happened in Judgment.
I have to say, in terms of the Yakuza games, Judgment's right up there for me. It's one of my favorites.
It is a good game. It's the combat is definitely hard for me to get used to though, because it's completely unlike the way the combat worked in any of the previous games.
Yeah,
that and the fact that this being a Dragon Engine game, the combat is a lot more fluid and less stiff than it was.
I like how
6
Yagami's Yagami, however you want to pronounce him. He's very different to like say Kiryu and that lot. As if he doesn't have as great defense. He doesn't take hits well. You take a lot of damage in that game.
You do, but the takeaway from that is his fighting style is a lot more fluid. So he bounces all over the place, kind of flowing like water, as Bruce would say. So it's easier to deal with multiple enemies as long as you get out of the way when they strike you.
Yeah.
And also, on the side note, when I played Judgment, I actually mastered what's that game called? Motor Raid. So I at some point made it first place in all of the racetracks, and made it to the bonus Sega racetrack at the end, which I didn't even know about.
I don't think I've done that.
Yeah, I mean my gripe with Motor Raid in that game is that it's too easy. So when I play that game, I never lose. I may not get first place every time, but I rarely get third place. And I never run out of time either. But this time I managed to ace all the races, so it was really cool seeing the Sega course at the end. I think it's called Segar or something like that.
Oh man, I might have to try and get that myself.
Segar.
It's worth trying. And there's a lot of Sega references all over the racetrack. It's kind of like the bonus Sonic racetracks in Sonic Riders and Sonic Riders Zero Gravity.
Oh yeah.
There's a little stuff peppered everywhere, but it's the same sort of idea.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it for all the games I played. Yeah. Can't remember anything else.
Okay.
Yes.
That just leaves you, CherryT.
Oh, well, unfortunately, I haven't really been playing much in the way of games since last podcast. I know last time I was playing, I was carrying on with Pokemon Diamond, if I remember right. Oh wait, it wasn't Diamond, it was White 2 actually. Oh god, my brain's all over the place.
I mean, there is a lot. You have been juggling a lot of Pokemon games, or
I had done, but
not so much this week, though.
yeah, not so much this week. No, I got busy with like catch up with chores, I suppose.
I guess one of those, one thing you've been doing quite a bit lately could technically count as a game.
It could. I've gotten back into that language learning app called Duolingo.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I guess you could sort of count that as a game.
Oh,
It is
man.
game-like.
Some
Realized.
gamification
I forgot.
elements.
I just realized I forgot to go into Duolingo for months now. Never gonna learn Japanese.
Try a whole year.
Yeah, that's like for me.
Mm,
Oh,
yeah.
man. Yeah, you really got to stay on point when you try to learn a language, whether it's with Duolingo or some other way. That takes
Commitment.
that takes
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise the greed owl's gonna come and murder you in your sleep.
Yes.
Pretty much.
It's gonna make you beg for mercy in whatever language you were trying to learn.
Mm.
What language are you learning?
At the moment, I've got like 5 different languages on there at the moment, but I'm focusing on Scottish Gaelic.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's weird.
Gallic?
You know, like the native language of Scotland.
Yeah, one of the 2 native languages in Scotland.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. I did not know the name of that language before.
Yeah, there's that and Scots, as they call it, I
Oh,
think.
Scots as well.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't started to dabble in Welsh, considering we've not long come back from being near Wales.
oh,
or
Welsh is-
within the border of Wales.
Yeah, I have got Welsh on there as well.
Oh, yeah.
On the what I had tried doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, we were like, when we did our trip the other week to Cheshire, we were just on the border of Wales.
Yeah, to the
So-
point where all the signs were starting to go dual language, weren't they?
Yeah, and like,
And in our hotel we had some Welsh channels, didn't
oh, S4C.
we? Yeah.
Yeah. Normally you only get that on like Sky or anything like that everywhere else.
Yeah.
But over there it's like the channel for
It's
first.
there, Channel 4, and then Channel 4 is on like Channel 6 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Makes sense.
well, they're actually like a BBC service, really.
Ah.
Oh, S4C is, yeah, but what I
Yeah.
mean is Channel 4 is not on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you actually do get into it, it can be quite addictive.
Yeah, I'm going to have to dabble with that, I think. 'Cause
I've
it does
got-
look quite fun.
I've got Japanese on there as well.
Yeah, that's the one we should probably try and learn, just in
Yeah.
case we still plan to go there sometime.
Yeah, fun enough. That's what I was using before we found out that we weren't going.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I made quite a bit of progress, but now it's just it's now no longer in my head.
Yeah.
So I've got to start from scratch.
It sort of works in a way where it kind of like it's kind of repetitious on purpose,
Repetition,
isn't
like
it? Yeah.
flashcards, and
Yeah,
then,
and then they sort of mix it up occasionally to try and throw you off a little bit and see if you're
that.
actually paying attention.
There's that, and it's like drag and drop bits, and there's even bits where you like sort of speak into the microphone. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with that, I think, at some point.
And I remember hearing in an email from Duolingo that they're going to start doing video lessons,
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
so that you'll be able to, so you'll be able to practice speaking more like a native or a native Japanese would speak. Because like flashcards are one thing, but you have to learn how to carry a conversation, right?
oh
Yeah.
Yeah, and
definitely.
like the sentence structure.
Oh
all that
god,
stuff,
yeah. Funny enough,
Right.
Scottish Gaelic has a bit of a similar like structure to Japanese, where sometimes it's like the noun first and then the adjective in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
some
I
languages
remember
are just
with
everything's upside down
Japanese-
and inside out.
Yeah.
I remember with Japanese, the order of a sentence is the subject, then the object, and then the verb, if there is a verb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have a really hard time like holding any kind of conversation, let alone English. Like, you know, let alone.
I know the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that time when I tried to speak
Yeah,
Dutch.
I get it too.
Well, I mean, we were there, weren't we?
Yeah.
So you had a go at it.
It's
but
scary.
It is scary. It can be, anyway.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
Other than that, and Dr. Mario, that's Dr. Mario World. I mean, that's about it, really.
Oh, that reminds me. There's some really nice Dr. Mario plushes coming
Oh,
out.
yeah.
Oh, they're so cute.
What?
Yeah, Dr. Mario World plushes. They've done a set of 3 viruses. They're adorable.
Yeah,
We
like-
linked to them on the Discord somewhere.
Yeah, I'll put them on the chat.
Yeah, I think I know what I want to grab for
Yeah,
Stacey at some
they
point.
don't come out till like March.
Yeah, I don't think they're out till March, but they.
No.
No,
Right.
you will
Well,
pre-ordered them
You kind of
earlier.
already spoiled
Yeah.
me for my birthday, though.
True, but yeah. I'll see if I can put a picture up real quick on the Discord. But that's pretty much all your stuff then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I completely forgot to mention I also played loads of Taiko no Tatsujin, and I finally unlocked the ridiculous Halloween song
Oh yeah.
from the online mode. It's it's so like high pitched and ridiculous. But yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, so I guess that's what we've been playing. I'm going to put up these plushes on the screen because they're amazing. They are adorable.
Somehow, like virus and disease plushies just got even cuter.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember? Like, have you ever seen those, Aaron? Where
What's
like,
that? Oh, that's really big.
about a decade ago, people like they would start to make like plushies based on like what
Look at them!
real viruses look like.
Oh god.
They're so cute!
Oh,
They're adorable.
they don't even look nearly as menacing as they actually do in the game.
This is how they look in the mobile game. This is pretty
Yeah.
much how they look in Dr. Mario World. Yeah, they are cuter in
I haven't
mobile
played
Yeah.
Dr. Mario World. I'm just thinking of how they looked in like
The NES game.
Oh,
NES
you're
game.
probably specifically
Or,
thinking of like the box art where they were really freaky.
Yeah.
or like a Dr. Luigi, which is the last Dr.
Yeah.
Mario I had the pleasure of playing.
Oh, yes.
That was on the DSi.
I believe
Yes.
there's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Wii U.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
remember, Dr. Luigi was from the Year of Luigi. a while
Yes.
ago.
Oh
That's
yeah.
right.
Oh, yes. Rather.
Yeah.
Oh,
now
yeah.
there's like Doctor Tower of Goombas, Doctor.
I feel like they're running out of characters in that game. They
Yeah.
are seriously running out of characters.
They've got like
They can't give every Mario
Mario
character.
has been running out of
Well, they've
characters
got
for a
3
long time,
more,
which is why they're giving established characters costumes now. Which I feel like they should have did that a while ago.
well, they've got 3 more Koopalings to go.
Yeah, but they've been doing literally a stack of Goombas in a jacket,
Yeah.
which is kind of hilarious, actually. I kind of like that.
And that one I like. That's really cute.
It's like, yes, we are an adult, please. We are an adult doctor. We're totally an adult doctor. That is not just a stack of Goombas.
Yes, we are totally allowed to buy this ticket to this R-rated movie.
Right, well, I guess we should move on to the news. So, as we briefly touched upon... Yeah.
Right.
BBC News. Like the current one.
What's happening?
Jesus.
I-
Noises are
My
happening.
ears are bleeding.
Oh, sorry.
Right, so
Oh,
as we
oh.
sort of briefly touched upon, Sega has been celebrating their 60th anniversary in style on Steam in particular by giving away a set of 4 free minigames. So
Yeah.
the 4 games...
And as of this podcast, you can't download them anymore, unfortunately.
That's true.
Yeah.
They were only
Yeah.
available for a few days. So if you didn't catch them, I think it was a few days ago that they delisted them. They're gone. So yeah, there's that. You know, people were complaining about Super Mario 3D All Stars, except these are free. They're not £50.
Yeah,
Yeah.
This is even worse, but like I don't want to spend too much time complaining because these were free games anyway.
Exactly, yeah. They're free games and they're mini games. They're quite short games. So there is a sort of a Fantasy Zone inspired version of one of their PC games on there.
Yeah, the Endless series, which sounds weird when you say it like that, but
yeah, it's called Endless Zone, the minigame.
Set in the Endless Space universe.
Yeah,
this is part of the series I briefly mentioned earlier, Endless Space.
I really liked the Endless Zone. That was fun.
I like the Endless franchise.
Endless Zone is probably my favorite of the 4 free games.
Okay, cool. And they also had, I think this is the one that was getting the most buzz, was Streets of Kamurocho, which is basically So it's basically like a Streets of Rage with Yakuza characters, but it's obviously just a mini game, so it's not a full game of Streets of Rage. It's essentially a looping level that you basically just play until you game over. You just loop around. So it's not very long. You pretty much see everything the game's got within like 15 minutes, I guess, if that.
Yeah.
But it is pretty cool, isn't it? Like,
I
they really
enjoyed
nailed the physics in particular. You know what it felt like? It felt like the many hot dogs, the many ROM hacks, the many ROM hacks.
Where people put their favorite characters in Streets of Rage.
Yeah, specifically Streets of Rage 2, yeah.
Puyo characters in the game, because why the hell not?
Yeah.
The Ren and Stimpy one as well.
Oh, that Ren and Stimpy one was hilarious. It was so broken. Like, the sprites didn't even line up properly. But yeah, it felt like one of those in a way, except there was a bit more detail to it. I liked how all the backgrounds were clearly based on locales from Yakuza, and they did go out of their way to make all the enemies based on characters from the series and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, they absolutely nailed the physics. Everything felt right. You know, it felt like Streets of Rage. Like, you even got that thing where if someone throws you, you can press the buttons to like land properly and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with it.
Which I think you do by pressing attack and jump at the same time.
That's the one,
I keep forgetting.
Yeah, that's it.
Attack.
Yeah.
Absolutely enjoyed that. I did.
The background is they have to work on the perspective a little more because the entrances to some of the buildings look like they're too small for any of the characters to actually fit inside.
Yeah, true.
I suspect there won't be any patches.
No, especially since you can't even download the game anymore.
Yeah. Other than there was a lot of detail, right down to the bar that you enter being the Bacchus bar from Yakuza. They even included the Toulouse-Lautrec paintings that adorn the inside of Bacchus. That was neat.
Mark my words, someone will make an actual ROM hack of Streets of Rage 2 to this.
Probably already done.
I'm going to say the sprites in that Kamurocho game are not to the colour palette of a Mega Drive, so they'll probably have to tweak the colours because there's definitely a lot more colour in that than you would get on a Mega Drive. But yeah.
Probably not.
I liked that it had like an online leaderboard, so you could just try and push to see how many loops you can do without game overing. I thought that was a nice little touch. It gives it a bit more incentive rather than... The only thing I really didn't like about it was the fact that all 3 characters were just Axel.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting them to at least play a bit different, but they all play exactly the same.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
As soon as I noticed that, I was like, oh.
The only difference I noticed is that the big weapon, which is supposed to be the pipe in the original game, it's different depending on the character you pick. So
because I noticed there was those characters with the big swords, and if you grab them, they drop it, and then it turns into like one of those giant cones.
It turns into a traffic cone. And it's a metal baseball bat.
So the spoiler character that I won't mention, he seems to be based off Streets of Rage 3 Axel, I've noticed.
You reckon?
Yeah, because he does that thing with his hunched over shoulders that he does in 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I barely played the other 2 characters because as soon as I noticed it's almost exactly the same, I was like, oh, okay, I think I'm done.
Actually, identical. He can't run or anything, so it's not really any different. But
As I say, you can't really complain. It was free, so you can't complain. It reminds me of that old April Fool's joke that they turned into a little free game on Steam. That 8-bit Bayonetta.
Oh yeah.
Don't know if anyone remembers that. It's a very similar kind of thing to that, where you play it for like 10-15 minutes and go, "Oh, that's cute." But
that was the thing I heard about these games.
I did enjoy the high school rivalry for a little while.
yeah, there's definitely some extra mileage there. What was the other one? There was like a Company of Heroes game that was like a top-down 4-player.
Armor of Heroes.
Yeah, has anyone played that one here?
I didn't grab that particular one.
I haven't tried that one yet.
My least favorite.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I haven't actually messed with that one.
He looked kind of not really my thing, but I'm sure it's all right.
I didn't really have fun with it at all. It's for one thing, the idea of the game is sound, but it's really hard to control your tanks. They give you three. They give you 3 control methods, and none of them are very easy to use. Took me a long time to figure out how to make sense of any of them. So like the twin stick one, for example, I thought that was for one stick to move the tank and the other stick to rotate the turret, but it doesn't work that way. It turns out actually both sticks actually control the treads on the tank, so you have to push them both up.
So it's like that game, the SNK game, the old tank arcade game.
TNK3?
TNK, is it?
I think it's called TNK, yeah.
Yeah.
That connection.
Oh, fair enough.
It's similar to that, but it's not done quite as well. In fact, you would think that pressing up on one analog stick and down on the other would make you turn faster, but no, you turn the same speed regardless. So
I think it was made to be deliberately retro style, so maybe that's...
I guess. But like also, I don't know if a lot of people had this problem, but when I played Armor of Heroes, the game kept flickering all the time. It just flickering black.
Oh, weird.
And it was kind of hurting my eyes after a while.
Right, so the last game is kind of the main thing I wanted to talk about here, like the main bit of news. So this was outside of the Streets of Kamurocho thing. I think this is the thing that stood out the most, is there is a game in here called Golden Axe, which is in fact a prototype of a cancelled game from 2012 by the developers of the Castle of Illusion remake. Basically, it was a studio called Sega Studios Australia, and unfortunately they got shut down sometime just before or just after the Castle of Illusion remake came out.
It's a shame because they did such a good job with that.
Yeah, I actually remember footage of this prototype coming out years ago, because I think the developers actually released it when they got shut down. They basically put out like this video showing off what they were planning, and they were also apparently working on a Streets of Rage game at the same time. Basically, what's happened with this is there was a little bit of controversy. Basically, the developers, including one of the main designers, Tim Dawson, he saw that this came up on Steam, and he was first of all surprised because he wasn't informed, and they stripped their credits out. And also, he was not really happy with the way they described the game on Steam. So he basically tweeted out basically what happened when they were making this game. They basically put this prototype together practically during like a crunch time. They were basically working on it at the same time as they were working on Castle of Illusion and the Streets of Rage idea as well. They were basically really busy trying to squeeze all this stuff out, and they were going to Sega showing off this prototype. And the Sega execs were like, "Oh, it's not like God of War." And then they went off and worked on it a bit more and came back, and then suddenly their opinion completely flipped, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we love it now." And he was just like, it was a really bad experience for the designers, basically. So it kind of, this showing up with the name Golden Axed was, a bit of a damper on them, but in a way, like it was kind of horrible for them. So because especially when you look at the original Steam description for it, the Steam description literally called it like a janky, glitchy relic of its era, and I don't think that went down too good. So obviously there was a bit of an outcry over that, and Sega came out and apologised for that, and they changed the description so it actually says, it sort of describes the whole thing and how it was, done under crunch and all that kind of stuff.
I think they described it as, a window into the tumultuous nature of game design. That's that's a pretty good way of
describing it.
Even before they changed it, they said it was a look at the sometimes tumultuous world of video game development, which implies that there was a very good reason the game was cancelled, and it wasn't because it was a bad idea of a game.
No. From what I've heard, back in the day when they first showed the footage of this game back in 2012, they were actually trying to basically pitch to Sega an idea where they're remaking a bunch of old Sega franchises, but somehow tying them all into each other in some way. So I don't think we really got any implication of what that actually means, but it's kind of interesting to see what they might have been planning, and I absolutely adore that Castle of Illusion remake. That came out the same year as the DuckTales remake, and I have to be honest, I preferred the Castle of Illusion remake.
I forgot to mention I forgot to mention I was also playing the Castle of Illusion remake over the past 2 weeks, and it was a very nice game. Very nice seeing how they translated stuff from the original Genesis game.
It's a beautiful remake. Honestly, they did such a good job of modernizing those levels, but still keeping the spirit of what they were originally. And I just thought they did a really cracking job.
I was blown away with that remake.
Yeah. So I'm guessing what they plan to do with Golden Axe and whatever other games they wanted to work with, I think it was kind of like what Marvel does with their cinematic universe, where they have
I could see that
timeline of sorts. So sometimes the games will reference one another, and even if they take place hundreds of years apart.
Maybe Axel's a descendant of Gilius Thunderhead or something. I don't know. Something like that. I don't know.
Like that, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows it's hard to blame Sega as a whole. It's just a very tone deaf guy who was working on that particular area of PR.
Sega. It's important to remember that Sega is not the same company now that they were in 2012.
Exactly. They're completely different.
Sega has notably taken a lot of steps to cut down on crunch for its developers and make sure they're all treated better. Because I think in the case of a studio like Sega Studios Australia, if they really did crunch their employees like this, it really shows that why that's harmful for the video game industry. Because the developer, not only do the developers suffer from it, the game suffers from it. Nobody wins when that happens. And it's sad.
Sega did put out a statement in relation to this whole thing. They said, "We certainly didn't mean to dredge up painful memories for Mr. Dawson and his former colleagues, or appear disrespectful. We removed the line from the Steam copy that could have been taken as a slur on the development and would like to reassure everyone that it was intended as a comment on the build we had ported to PC, not the quality of the original work." So basically they've had to port the original code in some fashion to get it to basically be a runnable Steam game, I guess.
You know that if this was Konami or EA, they would have played ignorant. I never heard of this guy. I don't know what he's talking about. And they would have left the description the way it was.
I mean,
well, I don't know. Hard to say, isn't it?
That's even the name I think was a bit tone deaf.
Calling it Golden Axe.
I mean, at first,
on paper, it's that's kind of amusing because it was
cute.
Axe, but it's cute, but at the same time, it's like.
At first, I thought it was like a tongue in cheek about the history of the game. When they said it was buggy and janky, I didn't take that as an insult. I took that as them just joking about the fact that because this is a pitch and was never meant to be a completely polished and finished game, it's going to be a little you would expect it to be buggy.
Exactly.
Because if they had if this is a vertical slice, so if it was approved, they'd put a lot more work in the game. It probably wouldn't actually resemble what the vertical slice at all in the end. The art style might be different.
I guess for the developers, I guess it was just a bit of a deep cut. You know, they didn't get informed that it was getting released. It just appeared out of nowhere, and you know they lost their jobs over that whole situation. Where
gives the implication that they're incompetent developers, which couldn't be further from the case, as we saw with Castle of Illusion. So
exactly, yeah.
So
this actually happened once before. Nintendo had an American development studio, which I forget the name of. They were working on a Wii game called Project Hammer.
Yes, that's got a deep history of chaos.
To sum it up, they also had a problem with crunching developers, and also had a Japanese leader who was also very racist. He didn't want to consider any Western point of view at all, even though this is a Western game studio, and he just wouldn't.
There's a really good Unseen 64 video about the history of this.
Right. Yeah, that's why I'm saying that when you mistreat your developers like that, this is what happens. And that's what. So, like with Sega Studios Australia, I'm sure a lot of us probably assumed that Sega just decided to cancel them for no reason. Like, even though they were making good games, they just thought, we got to save money. Someone's got to go. Let's get rid of these guys because why the hell not? But yeah, looks like
there's no way of knowing, is there?
For
us to judge.
It's usually never that black and white, but at least we have a little more context for what went wrong behind the gold next.
The whole thing with them coming back and saying, "Oh, why isn't it like God of War?" That's exactly the same thing that happened to the ToeJam and Elk developers with the third game that they were working on for the Dreamcast, and then Sega came out to them, threw a copy of Donkey Kong 64 on the table, went, "Make it like that." It's like, really? You want to be like Donkey Kong 64?
That's happened. I remember Insomniac
Make it like popular thing.
I remember Insomniac made a multiplayer shooter once, which I forget the name of. It was published by EA.
I know the one.
Said, make it like this popular shooter.
That's it. That's executives in a nutshell in any industry, to be fair.
So they couldn't make it like their original vision. And then the game came out and everyone hated it. And the higher ups think they know games better than the people actually making the games.
Yeah, you get that in every industry. That just happens a lot. Yeah, it happens in what I do and everywhere, you know. Right. So I guess we shall move on. This is kind of related to the same thing. So not only have they been putting out these free mini games, they've also been giving out free Steam codes for a couple games, including Sonic 2, which is essentially a ROM that you play within the Mega Drive collection. And you can actually take the ROM out and put it in any emulator you want. So essentially, it's a free legal ROM of Sonic 2. Like, if you want to officially own it from Sega, that's how you can get it. That's the good thing about the Mega Drive collection on the PC.
Kind of makes me wonder why companies don't sell their ROMs more often. Like, how come Sega's doing this?
I mean, technically, they're not deliberately selling you the ROMs. It's very easy to just go in there, rename them into bins, and then chuck them in an emulator. But
they don't advertise it. They just put the ROMs in there, and they're like,
I mean, before they updated the Mega Drive collection to have that sort of VR-looking room in it, it was just a legal emulator, basically. But they've given away. They were, for a temporary time, they were giving away Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and they were also giving away Nights into Dreams, which, in my opinion, is really good exposure for that game, because I still feel like that game is severely underrated in terms of Sega's classic franchises. Like, it only got one kind of crap sequel, and that's about it.
And it's a damn good version of Nights, so
so it's nice that they put that out for free. But the creator of Nights into Dreams, or the designer of two of those games, Yuji Naka, was less than impressed, I guess I'll say. To put it in his own words, he said, "Oh no, they've made Nights free too. First Sonic 2 and now this. What is going on with Sega? I think it would be okay for them to value Sonic and Nights a little more, but I guess it can't be helped since they're old games now." But yeah, he's basically saying to say, because he's working at Square Enix now. He's working on Balan Wonderworld. Basically set up his own Sonic team over there now. He hasn't actually been at Sega for a very long time. He left around the time Sonic 06 came out.
Yeah, because he did that Kiwi game, didn't he?
Yes, he formed a studio called ProPay, or ProPay Accessories, or whatever. ProPay and ProPay Accessories. They made that amazing Let's Tap on the Wii. They also did two of my favourite 3DS Street Pass games, Street Pass Mansion and the fishing one, I believe. I think they also designed them, because if you watch the credits in them, you will see Yuji Naka's name there. But yeah, he's basically saying, why don't they value these games a bit better? And it's like, you're saying that now, after they've re-released Sonic 2 about 4,000 times, many times on very poorly designed Mega Drive clones, and like all those app games things with a really poor sound emulation, or like that Dreamcast Mega Drive collection.
I think it's
that
one of the
worst sound emulation I've ever heard.
I think that's a lot more disrespectful of a game like Sonic 2 than giving the game away for free in a decent emulator.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
true.
The way that particular is it the App Games one? The one, or is
The
it
one on the
they sell,
Dreamcast, the
Memory
Sega
Foam
Smash
Pack?
Pack.
Oh, that as well.
That had the first Sonic, but yeah, same thing.
Sega Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Oh, that doesn't even count as emulation. That's just like someone that was
shite.
told, someone was given Chinese whispers of what Sonic maybe plays like, and then they had that as their only guide on how to make it. Like very long Chinese whispers.
I remember a long time ago on my second flip phone, I actually had a version of Sonic the Hedgehog on it, which ran okay, but it was slower than the original game and had no audio, no music, no sounds, no nothing.
So it's one of those things where everyone has played Sonic that really has any interest in getting into Sonic has played Sonic 2. At this point,
I'd say so.
I think it's fair to say that, and there's so many ways to get it. To be honest, playing it on Steam isn't necessarily even the easiest way to play it.
No, true.
Not necessarily. And there are superior versions if you want to go spend the money. You have the Ages release.
Yeah. Or the Christian Whitehead version on mobile.
It's not even. Yeah, I was about to bring that up. This isn't even the first time Sega gave Sonic 2 away for free, because the mobile version is still free.
Yeah.
It has ads, but you don't have to pay for the game if you don't want to.
Ah, exactly. So the game's been free for ages, just not on Steam.
I think
and it was only temporary anyway.
Yeah.
I think what Naka's getting at here, this is something I've heard before with companies like Nintendo, where Nintendo's talked about in the past where their games are very, very valuable because they have such high prestige in the history of video gaming. So that's their excuse for always charging a premium for all of their old games, no matter how old they are. And I think that's a mindset that makes sense to the Japanese, and how they view stuff like that they made.
I guess so. Yeah, I think there is like a sense of honor there, isn't there?
Yeah, and Konami does this too, where they see so much value in their games that they think that selling them for a super cheap price or giving them away for free, even if it's just for a limited time, that's like they might as well say this game is such hot garbage now, we don't even have the heart to charge money for it anymore. That's why you had Nintendo sticking with the whole virtual console model for such a long time, for example. Why they so long to add new retro games to Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is of all of the developers out there, Sega was the one who was probably least like that, because they were quite often they would just bundle all of their old games for very cheap. How many collections with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 exist at this point? I mean,
literally, Sonic the Hedgehog was given away with the Genesis.
Yeah,
that was the thing. That was one of the contentions between Sega of America and Sega of Japan back in the day. Was the fact that Sega of America went, "We're going to give this away for free with the Mega Drive, with the Genesis in America," and Sega of Japan lost their shit. They were like, "You can't give away our best game for nothing." But then it bounced back because the Genesis sold like crazy because it had that game bundled with it. You know, it didn't have Altered Beast with it anymore, so people finally started buying them. You know.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact that anyone in America who bought a Genesis after 1991, myself included, they bought it for Sonic first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it came with
true,
it.
yeah.
And you think about the Master Systems that all had Sonic 1 built into them as well. Built into the system.
Yeah.
It's not exactly
yeah.
an unusual thing for Sega to give away a Sonic game. It's not unusual.
Not at all. You know, Knights is a little bit different, but you could
yeah,
argue.
yeah, that is different. They have not
guess,
done that
but,
with that
like,
game before. Except for Christmas
they were-
Nights.
But you know, they were doing this for the 60th anniversary event for Sega. So I see that rather than looking at this as like being disrespectful to the games, I look at this like a celebration of Sega's past.
Exactly, yeah.
When you
And
think about
anyone
Sonic
that
2,
missed out, anyone that missed out, they're going to be like, "Oh, I wonder what that game's like," and then they might buy it. Because
Well,
that does happen quite a lot with
'Cause
cheap games and free
if
games.
yeah, because if there's people who aren't that familiar with Sega, then they're probably going to have a lot more incentive to check out Sonic 2 and Knights if they don't have to pay a damn thing for it.
Yeah.
And those two are two of Sega's most celebrated games from their console years. And I think they do a really nice job of showing people what Sega is all about, or at least what they were all about at the time.
And like I say, it's the pirate thing again, is the argument against piracy. It's like anyone who was going to buy it has bought it.
Yeah.
At this point, you know.
In the case of
no
Sonic
one-
2, I'm not so sure about Knights, because Knights is one of those games that I still think a lot of people don't quite understand. Like, it is a very almost deliberately vague game, and I think a lot of people bounce off that very hard because they don't, you know, there's a lot of nuance to it that I don't think people see. And it took me years. I had that game as a kid, and it took me years to suss that game out. Like, I would bounce off it so many times. I would go back and forth between hating that game and loving that game. And I think I've come to the conclusion that I do love that game. But that's mainly because nowadays I'm really into score chasing games, so it's got that going for it. Whereas back in the day, I was like, how do I beat this thing? How do I just get to the end? Why do I keep running out of time and all this stuff? But
yeah, and me, I didn't even fully understand that game until just this year. And I'd actually beat the game a couple of times in years past.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't fully get on board with his position on this. Really, I just don't think it's.
Not. I mean, he did sort of say, "Oh, well, it's just kind of justified by the fact that they're quite old games, so
could be lost
that.
in translation." You know.
Yeah, there's that too.
Most people like to think that old games should be a lot cheaper just because of their age, which it doesn't. It's not always quite that simple, but in this case, yeah, I could totally agree with that.
It's a good way. Giving people some free stuff is a good way to get them to look at the rest of your stuff.
To make you
like
a fan.
people are like, okay, I liked this Sega game. Maybe I'll look at some other Sega games. Yeah.
Well,
you know what? I was talking down on Nintendo earlier, but like the idea they had with the Nintendo Switch Online retro games, where they give you access to every currently available game if you have the Nintendo Switch Online. That's the same sort of deal where you're already paying for online just to play your new games online, but you have access to all these games. You can try them out for your leisure, at your leisure, and occasionally they'll add more for you to check out at no extra cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is already a step up from the virtual console model, because then they were charging like a minimum of $5 for every game.
Yeah, we have the archives for that.
It didn't matter what kind of game it was.
Yeah, right. I guess we shall probably move on to the next bit of news. So this is going to feel like deja vu in a way, because this is going to feel like deja vu because Stadia have announced another 64-player battle royale game based on a retro franchise. I'm going to put this one up on the. Stream so people can see it, because I only just found out about this today.
I think this is another legit good idea.
This is fantastic. Like, everything about this is.
I just wish it wasn't on, but I'll get to that later.
Right? Yeah. Well, we've basically, when we did the Bomberman, we talked about the Bomberman Battle Royale that was pretty much.
We covered that, didn't we?
We pretty much covered what we think about Stadia, so I don't think we need to repeat ourselves too much. But we're getting a Pac-Man Battle Royale. This is me all over. 64 Pac-Mans. Each one of you gets your own Pac-Man screen. You can move into other people's screens. You can customize your Pac-Man. You can put a big pink afro on it, and glasses, and this weird stuff. It looks like it's got like a kill screen mode where like there's glitches coming up as well. There's a lot going on here. This is right down my street. This was great. But what I need to emphasize here is they've said first on Stadia. Emphasis on first.
Oh, is it timed exclusive? Then?
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it? Yeah, that's the implication I'm getting. Yeah, look at this thing. It looks amazing. It looks great. So it's called Pac-Man Mega Tunnel Battle. And the demo is available if you have Stadia now. And it's available till the 27th of October. And then the game will launch on the 17th of... What is it? 17th of November?
Mm-hmm.
And it will be about 15... It's going to be about £15.
I thought for a second you were going to say they were going to take the game down permanently, like Mario 35.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to have... let's see what it says on here. Because I only just found out about this today, even though it was announced a few days ago. The demo is part of a 3-day Stadia event, which will see 2 more limited time demos being made available, including some new... What is it? Okay. Oh, there's going to be a Immortals Phoenix Rising demo from Ubisoft exclusively on there as well, and a couple other things. But yeah, £15 out 17th November. It says first on Stadia, so yeah, that makes me hopeful that this will get some kind of Steam or Switch or anything else release. Anything but Stadia, basically. I am not paying for Stadia, personally.
Yeah,
Switch would be ideal, but I would take a PC release.
Yeah, same. Yeah, totally.
It sort of reminds me of
a platform where you can actually get 64 players together.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah. So this has actually been developed in conjunction. Well, it's Bandai Namco, but it's also Heavy Iron Studios. That name rings a bell. I'm trying to think what else they've done.
Sounds familiar. I was gonna. Oh, okay. No. I was gonna say it's the guys who made the new Killer Instinct, but I'm thinking of Iron Galaxy Studios.
Yes.
It does sound a lot like the world's biggest Pac-Man, not the arcade cabinet, but yeah, that Flash.
There was another Pac-Man arcade game. Pac-Man Battle Royale.
Yes.
No one's gonna.
On the original Battle for Bikini Bottom.
What? Iron.
Heavy Iron.
Really? Oh, maybe they did. Did they do the remake?
Yes, they did.
Not the remake.
The rehydrated.
Ah.
They also.
I'd have to double check that, but
they did.
They
also
from the makers of Battle for Bikini Bottom. There you go.
Also, co-developed
that game. What did they make the remake or the original?
Sounds like the original, yeah.
They also co-developed Crash Bandicoot 4.
Right. Okay.
So that's
no,
more
that game had a developer.
And more dubiously, the Marvel's Avengers game. So yeah,
what the one,
the Flash in the Pan
the one that's coming out,
the Square one, yeah.
Oh, okay. I have no investment.
Well,
I didn't know it was bad.
Not every developer that can claim that every game they made was a winner.
Exactly,
It's probably Square's fault. It's terrible. Let's be honest.
So it says on here you can invade other players' mazes, eat their dots and power-ups, and you can even eat other players. So it's kind of like that. I think it was literally called Pac-Man Battle Royale. That was in arcades.
That was
that game was so good.
Battle Royale 4 versus 4. That's a very common arcade game around here.
Yeah, for good reason. It's amazing. That game is still
that.
in Southend arcades, I think, because it's just
especially when you get like 3 friends together and just.
Oh yeah.
It's also in the Pac-Man collection on Steam. actually.
It is, yeah.
I just
nice.
remembered that
So
now.
this kind of sounds like a massive, more expanded version of that in a way, where because there are ghosts involved as well, and I think it looks like you can send ghosts to other players, but it also looks like it's more about you invading other people's maps. There seems to be quite a lot of interesting little details in that trailer. And yeah, you can personalize your pack people as they describe it. So you can put little hats on them and you can dress them up.
Can you
Pac-Man with a clown afro.
can you cover him in pimples and prepare him for picture day?
You turn him into a meme, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm a meme.
like inflate him and everything.
I mean, I know in Championship Edition Deluxe you could actually play as the Ghostly Adventures version of Pac-Man, if I remember rightly. But yeah. I feel like Pac-Man's one of those franchises, kind of like Space Invaders, where they're always finding ways to reinvent it in really cool ways.
Yeah.
It is really cool how much mileage you could get out of such a old, simple game like Pac-Man.
Yeah, exactly. Because Pac-Man's timeless. I feel like Tetris and like in some ways Space Invaders, it's one of those games that you could do so many different things with, and it still feels like
Yeah,
feels like that game, but also adds a new twist.
Right, a game like that, you can only slightly change the rules and turn it into a completely new and exciting twist on the old game.
I guess the only time that I feel like they tried that a bit too hard and it didn't really work was with Championship Edition 2. I feel like that game tried too hard to change things, and it had so many extra little gimmicks to it that it was almost overwhelming and just kind of clunky and a bit random. Fun. Yeah, it was a bit too random. Like I was on and off with that game of whether I liked it or not. I think I came to the conclusion that it was just a bit of a mess compared to the first one, which is maybe one of my favourite Pac-Man games ever.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I still love that game, so I'd completely disagree with me on with you on that. But
I think just in comparison to the first one, it's a bit
maybe
hard
in comparison to the first one. Perhaps,
if you haven't played the first one, like that's fine, I guess. But it still has its merits. I'm not saying it's a terrible game.
It's not a bad game.
It's not a bad game by any means. I would still continue to play it. I just the whole time I'm playing it, I feel like I'd rather be playing the first one. But yeah.
I've only played the first one, and I can vouch for that one being phenomenal.
Yeah, I love that game to pieces.
I love them both for their own merits.
Yeah, I could definitely see the appeal with the second one just being so absolutely bonkers that it's just like the first time you play it, like what is even happening?
There was also Pac-Man 256.
Yes, that game was cool. Yeah, I like that. It was like Crossy Road, wasn't it? Cool. Yeah.
The developers of Crossy Road, yeah. In fact, they actually have a Crossy Road skin in the game.
They do, yeah. I put way too many hours into that game on Steam because it was very grindy. Yeah, I had to play it a lot to unlock all the stuff.
I used to play the mobile version of that game all the time. It's great as a mobile game.
Yeah, it makes sense as a mobile game.
Now we have Pac-Man
mobile game.
Yes, they also announced that a couple weeks ago, didn't they? There's is it called Pac-Man
Geo?
Go? Geo, that's it.
Geo, I grabbed it the other day. It's really good.
Yeah, so basically, does anyone remember when they did, I think it was like an April Fool's, or maybe it was for Pac-Man's anniversary, where they basically let you go onto Google Maps and you could just turn any area into a game of Pac-Man. They've basically made a whole game out of that now.
That's pretty cool.
It was the next step. The next
really
logical
was.
step.
Just make a whole game out of it. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I grabbed it. I've had a little go, and it's pretty fun.
Nice.
It is awkward with swipe controls, though. That's kind of a shame.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing you kind of want at least little on-screen buttons for, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I did die a few times with
controller.
Yeah.
Right. I think we've got maybe one more bit of news that we could talk about, I guess. So a little while ago, there was that big news of Bethesda being bought out by Microsoft. and I guess we've had a bit more detail into what that's going to entail. Sort of.
Okay.
It's more kind of like hinting. So basically, Kotaku had a interview with the boss of Xbox. What's his name? Spencer Neal. Yeah.
Oh, Phil
Phil
Spencer.
Spencer. Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
No, not that Phil Spencer.
What?
No, there's Phil Spencer is also the name of a Channel 4 personality.
Is it? Oh.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They're not on them.
So yeah, obviously they paid $7.5 billion for Bethesda. That's a lot of money. As we mentioned, that's more than Disney paid for LucasArts. That's more than Disney paid for Star Wars. It's a lot of money. So obviously they were interviewing him about the whole acquisition and how, it's a lot of money, and how they're going to make that back essentially with them as their portfolio. And they were saying, the way they handle Minecraft is, that's paid its way back in spades. And one of the reasons for that is because it has stayed multi-platform. If anything, they branched it out even further by making that version that basically lets it cross-play with pretty much every system. So, they've kept Minecraft as open as they can. Obviously, there are some changes they made that not everyone's happy with, but generally they've kept it as a game that pretty much anyone can play. So people have been saying what they're going to do with Bethesda's big games coming up, including the next Elder Scrolls, which is ways off, as well as that sci-fi game they're working on. What's the name of that one again? Starfield.
Starfield, yeah.
So apparently that's coming out first, and then Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be sometime after that. So it's a long ways off. But yeah, basically they were asking him on Kotaku if will these games all launch on the same day on different consoles, or will they be exclusive to Xbox and all that kind of stuff. Do they need to go multi-platform to recoup this money that they've just spent? But Spencer Nielsen's I keep getting his name wrong. Phil Spencer. Spencer Nielsen, someone else entirely, because he's got a different name. He basically said they don't really need to make these games multi-platform to get that money back. Essentially, like, they don't need to go multi-platform to make the deal work for them. However, he also said the deal was not done to take games away from other player bases. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was how do we keep others from playing these games. We want more people to play these games, not fewer, to be able to play these games. So that's But I also say in the model,
that anyway.
Yeah, so it kind of sounds like at the most we're probably looking at timed exclusives, probably.
Yeah, at the most, I would say.
I'll say. What else did he say? I'm just answering directly the question that he had. When I think about where people are going to be playing and the number of devices we had, and we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass and our console base, I don't have to go ship those games to any other platforms other than the platforms that we support. In order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means. So I guess even they don't fully know yet, basically. I don't know if anyone's got any thoughts on this.
No, I mean, it's pretty much what I expected. I didn't think they were just going to hoard, this lucrative collection of games all to
portfolio,
sell.
yeah.
But portfolio. Yeah. I didn't think that was going to be the case anyway.
No.
And again, like you say about the Minecraft analogy, of course, that's a perfect example. Like they basically just let that be its thing, basically.
Yeah.
But they let the creators go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's possible that we could expect some kind of bonus to being on Xbox, maybe like crossovers.
Yeah.
That are exclusive to Xbox.
That makes sense.
That could have happened anyway.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Master Chief being in a Doom game, for example.
Yeah, exactly. That's bound to be a little perk, one of many perks of them being under Xbox, I guess.
I mean, Bethesda have always been very friendly with Windows anyway. Like,
exactly,
if anyone remembers any of their PS3 ports, they've always put very little. Well, PS3 and PS4 ports of their games, they've always put less effort in those. Don't ask me why. It's just been their preference. Like usually, what they do is, I remember with Oblivion, for instance, I don't think ZeniMax or Bethesda personally oversaw the PS3 port of that, and it was really badly done. It was full of problems, even more than a Bethesda game is.
Infamously so. That port is almost infamous for how poor it was.
Yeah, that was Oblivion. They did the same with both the Fallouts as well. I mean, again, New Vegas was very ridiculous on release day anyway, but especially the PS3 version, it still has problems to this day where it won't load certain areas and all kinds of problems like that. So it seems to me like their focus has always been number one PC, and then sort of two the Microsoft systems, and then
that's why the acquisition didn't really shock me too much. I mean, it was surprising how big it was and how much money was spent, and it was a big deal. But at the same time, it didn't really shock me too much because I always felt like they had a good relationship with Microsoft anyway.
No, definitely. And they dipped their toes into console development for the first time with the original Xbox and Morrowind. So
exactly.
So there we go. Yeah, they had
at the same time, them releasing, if they were to just make these Xbox and PC exclusive, they would be leaving a lot of money on the table for PS5 ports and all that kind of stuff. But I can't see them doing that because we've seen how open Microsoft are with the stuff they own. For example, the amount of stuff they've put on the Switch and the amount of favors they've done for Nintendo, essentially, including letting Minecraft be in Smash Brothers. Banjo. Yeah, exactly. That's a pretty big one. If anything, people were starting to wonder if Nintendo's going to give them anything back, at all, because it feels like Microsoft just giving them so much stuff, and Nintendo's just like, well, thanks.
It's funny you should say that.
Thanks for that.
Phil Spencer was also asked about if Nintendo's going to give back to them. And I remember he said that they make so much money off the Nintendo versions of games like Minecraft and Cuphead that it really doesn't matter if Nintendo...
That makes sense. I actually wouldn't be surprised if the Switch version of Cuphead is probably close to the best-selling version now. I wouldn't be shocked.
Exactly. They're making banks, so Nintendo doesn't have to do anything special for them.
There was Mario skins in Minecraft. I know you can only play them on Nintendo systems, but there was Mario DLC for Minecraft.
True.
Yeah.
So I guess that was a bone they threw. I guess. Yeah.
Tangentially related to this is just a little curio that came out today. The VTuber thing being quite popular lately, and so Doom Eternal has a little Easter egg in it.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
So I don't know much about it, but Corone is a pretty big
Corone Inugami.
Yes.
The dog girl, wasn't it? Just like a dog feature. Anthropomorphic dog girl.
Yeah. So her and the Shark one are the most popular, I think. And she played Doom through a while back, and it was called Doog or Dog. And apparently there's a little Easter egg in Doom Eternal now where you put in a little code while playing the game, and then it just has Dog appear on the screen.
It's like Doog Eternal logo pops
Doog
up.
Eternal, yeah. So
that's cool. I'm glad you did that. Because it's like the thing with people crossing over Doom with Animal Crossing, where the two things are so thematically different.
Yeah.
That it's so funny to put them together.
Oh, it's nice that the devs of Doom take it in good cheer with this sort of thing. So,
it's okay. Speaking of Microsoft and Minecraft, I've just been linked in the Discord about this. Almost feels like they're, we can make this stuff all multi-format, but here's how we sneak in. So apparently Minecraft will soon require a Microsoft account.
Which it does.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I always thought that was the case. Yeah. Or
does it require one, or
I think
it optional?
It's also. Let's have a look what it says. So basically, it includes the Java version, apparently. this affects all editions of Minecraft from the original Java version to the most current version.
Oh.
Java and Bedrock, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Surprised the Java
So this is
version
more to
still-
do. This isn't so much to do with the console versions as it is the original PC version.
I'm
Okay.
surprised the Java version is still available, considering all the security breaches with Java, kind of like with
I
Adobe Flash.
I think it's because there's a lot of changes between the original and the new version, and there's still a lot of people that prefer that original vanilla version.
Those, it would be a shame to have the original version of Minecraft lost.
Exactly, yeah. I noticed one of the things they did in Smash Brothers that people were pointing out is there's actually a lot of references to that original version in there. Like, for example, the fact that Steve has a beard, like he has a goatee, like they took that off in the newer versions for some reason. And
Maybe
also
he'll be
some of the
challenged for that.
remixes in that are only in like mini games that were only in the original Java version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like Counter-Strike 1.6. People still swear by that. Even though
Yeah.
Source and Go is out, people still swear by 1.6. So
Yeah.
And the original Team Fortress, that's still available to play.
Yep.
Yeah, compared to whatever the hell you would even describe Team Fortress 2 as nowadays.
Hat
with all
Fortress.
Hat Fortress.
Yeah.
And a million extra bells and whistles that make it almost indistinguishable from what it originally was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that will do for the news, and I think that will do for us today. I think that's a good place to wrap up, I think. Unless anyone else has got anything to add.
No.
Yeah.
Just lucky hits not over, you know?
No, definitely not. No, we're still going to be doing these podcasts weekly as much as we can. I know we missed last week. That's the first time we've actually missed a week since we started doing these again back in, what was it, episode 65?
Come pretty bloody far.
Yeah, we've gone from 65 to 92 in 1 year. That's crazy. Like,
We're still on track for crossing 100 before the year's out.
yeah,
So-
that's
Yeah,
what
I'd like
I'd
to
love.
see
I'd
that.
love to see episode 100 be like our Christmas special. I think it's going to
Yeah.
end up that way.
That's what I was about to
say.
say.
It's
It's
going
looking
to line
likely.
up. Yeah, it's going to be very likely, actually. Yeah, we'll have to think of something special to do for that, I think.
Yeah.
And Murry Curry also. Have you got date night tomorrow? Is it?
No, we're not doing Friday now, are we?
No, because
no.
yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So we'll probably
We're
do
gonna
the weekend or something like that.
Okay, cool.
We got a few ideas. We downloaded because PS4's got a bit of a Halloween sale, as you can probably imagine. We
Mhm.
grabbed Little Nightmares, which is something we've not really known too much about, but that looks sort of
I hear
Halloween-y.
that's a fantastic game. Like, I've
Ah,
heard really good
well,
things
that's good
about
to
that.
hear.
I think you'll be quite pleased with that one, possibly.
Cool.
It's
Okay,
quite
well-
unique.
Well, that's good to hear because we grabbed it.
Hmm.
It wasn't too much, and we thought we wanted to find some sort of spooky-ish games because we're quite far into the
That's
you know,
true.
the month of
The
spook.
spook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
we got that.
yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I think I've also got a Halloween themed stream coming up, probably nearer to actual Halloween, but I'll try and do it close to it. Basically, I've cobbled together enough spoopy Sega Saturn games to do a Halloween special of Sega Saturn Shindig. So
Hey.
Oh, good.
look forward to
Yes.
that soonish.
Nice. I was going to say I got that. There's a game that I got really into late last year, which I completely forgot about until I was really thinking about it the other day. It's going to be on the Xbox, so it'll be on Twitch.
Okay.
It's called The Last Station. It's a really fun little pixel horror
Oh,
game.
I've heard of this. Yeah.
It's like you're on a train and you have to keep
Yes.
stopping off. Like every station has like a lock, and you have to go and search through the station to unlock. And it's like a post-apocalyptic zombie sort of thing. Really fun little pixel horror game. I enjoyed the main game. I liked to see. I think I grabbed it because it was actually one of the games for gold, and I liked it so much. I grabbed the DLC, which is like almost as big as the main game itself. It's one of those sort of big DLCs, and I reckon we could. It quite easily go through that and the DLC in one quite long stream. I think
Nice.
it's quite a quick. It's quite a quick game. You know, it's
Cool.
not a long thing at all. So I've got to think. You know, it'll be sometime, and that'll be on the Twitch, and then hopefully as close to or on Halloween itself, I will be finally braving Resident Evil 7 on the VR,
dear.
Yes.
which I've
Can't
been
wait.
putting
Good
off
luck.
since I bought it.
I can't wait.
So
I really can't wait to see that.
I need to get practiced up. But not the only reason I'm getting practiced up is because I have had a go at Resident Evil 7 and I suck at it.
The game is quite tough.
Yeah. What I don't like is at the start of the game, it has a lot of these sort of almost like scripted chase sequences, like where you have to do exactly what the game expects you to do, and it annoys me when games are full of those.
Oh
And
yeah.
7 doesn't have it all the way through, but at the start it has like 3 or 4 in a row, and it's really annoying. And I just kept dying. I wasn't enjoying myself on those. You know what I mean, didn't you? When a game expects you to do like a whole scripted sequence, and you've got to work.
Oh yeah, yeah. It
It's
gets
just
on
so
my nerves.
annoying. Yeah. So I just want to practice up on mainly the bit at the start, so I'm not just sort of spending the first part of the stream getting agitated at this really pointless boss fight where you have to get the boss to stand in a certain place and do a certain thing. It's really, really irritating. But
Yeah.
other than that, like the point I've gotten to now where the game opens up and actually behaves like a Resident Evil game, it's fun. It's going to be good in VR, I think.
Yeah. And seeing as we're all kind of doing regular Twitch stuff at the moment, and that's kind of our thing at the moment, I was thinking maybe we should all just let people know what our Twitch accounts are. So my one is basically animated AF, one word. So you can also interpret it as animate daff if you want.
Yep.
Animate daff. Maybe I should make a character called Animate Daff. Or Anime Daff or something, I don't know.
I always interpret it as if you're animated as fuck.
That was kind of the idea.
Yeah.
Because not only it's my initials, that's why I went with it, because I was like, oh, it's my AAF is my initials. But it's also that. That was kind of my idea. That was the intention.
Oh,
so
good.
I'm glad someone picked up on it. Yeah, someone picked up on it. So that's good.
Okay, yeah. So my handle is you have no diggity at Twitch. That's an inside joke that I can't. But it takes too long to explain.
Just Dudley.
Just Dudley.
Just play Third Strike. That's good advice in general.
It's just Street Fighter Third Strike. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you have no diggity. DIGGITY. And at the moment, I'm doing my Donkey Kong streams. I plan to branch out to other things down the line, but at the moment, I've got a flow with this, so I want to keep it going. I'm thinking of horror stuff to play while it's still that time of year. So
yeah.
Maybe Resident Evil 4. I don't know.
Yeah.
That quick playthrough on PS4. So yeah, that's me.
Yep. Mine's Hunk Thunder, and same as you have no diggity. A whole load of Donkey Kong, pretty much on the daily basis. But coming up to Halloween, I'm probably going to be playing a bit of Dead Island. Hence, I've got the remaster version on my PC, but never actually played it. So I played the original on the Xbox 360, but haven't played the remasters. So, yeah.
I remember playing the original Dead Island on 360 when my son was a couple of months, no, not even a month old. I would play it. I'd do the night shift, and I'd be playing it all basically from night until early morning when mum would take over. And that thing with newborns are they're 2 hours awake, 2 hours asleep. So it was the kind of game that was kind of perfect to just pause and come back to. So that brings back memories. I haven't played it since then.
I remember playing the PC game and not liking it, but I don't think it's remastered because I didn't know there was a remaster.
Yeah.
I think I've got that.
3 years ago.
Yeah, I didn't know there was one either.
My Twitch is Murry Curry. I believe there's a space, so it's just an all lowercase Murry Curry. I think so.
I think it's one word.
I think it's one word. Yeah.
Oh, it is one word. Okay, fair enough. Then thanks for that. Just Murry Curry. But there won't be a whole lot going on for a little while on that. It'll be probably a few months. I will be doing a few sort of streams, but that'll probably be just how we've been doing it lately with Lucky Hit and the Lucky Hit Live Twitch. But I'll be doing some stuff as soon as I can. Really, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm enjoying the buzz around it all at the moment. It's I just wish I could join in. Really.
Yeah. Well, obviously while you're doing.
Mine
one more.
is called CherryT and TV. So it's all one word.
Yeah, Cherry Terrier TV. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to.
It's a rename, but yeah. At the
I'll have to
moment,
follow.
I'm only just like thinking it over what content I can start doing. But a bit like with a Gagaman channel, like I'm considering art as well as games.
Yeah, that seems like a good move.
Oh, sorry, yeah, you have just reminded me. It won't just be games I'll be doing. I will be doing music as well.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm buying sort of new bits and
Maybe you
bobs
could
for
do a
my
bit of
music
that,
setup.
Maybe you could do a bit of that. No?
Try it, yeah.
Whatever you do, don't do anything copyrighted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has been some buzz around at the moment about them clamping down on copyrighted music. So
That's a real shame.
Yeah, just as we all get into it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's annoying because I have had
Guess I won't be playing Tycho.
I was going to be playing Rock Band and stuff like that.
Well, I guess we'll
That's
get into
annoying.
it and see how it plays out. I guess.
Yeah, it's still early days with that. We don't know the finer points of it. We literally just got the update, from
exactly.
there. So, yeah.
Right. So,
and then I don't have a Twitch account actually. So.
What are you doing?
I'm not even, I'd like to.
You can join in with us if you want.
I'd like to stream, but I'm not equipped to stream my own stuff yet, or at least my game.
Yeah.
I also have not made videos in a long time. I should really get back to that. For the Twitch people watching who don't know who I am, I have a YouTube channel called Elk Plays and Paints, where I used to do Let's Plays. Don't do that anymore. I'm preparing to do other videos, but the Let's Plays are still there in case you want to see them anyway.
Yeah, cool. Right, so I guess that's been the 92nd second
Yes. On the 21st.
On the 21st of October.
Keep it. Let's make that a thing.
I swear that was. I remember that being a thing in that. Do you remember that old PS3 game called Joe Danger? They deliberately left a typo in that game where it was like third.
You dare change that.
It's like furthest. Yeah. So yeah. Right. So I have been the Gagaman.
I've been CherryT.
I've been Murry Curry.
I've been ShelvedGamer.
I've been Hunk Thunder.
And I've been Big Elk. And I'm going to see y'all next week. Holla at your boy. Yeah!
I think he's gone.
That's Dash EXP for those who don't know. He's another YouTuber.
That's the joke. See you later.
Bye bye.
Have yourselves a fantastic week.
Mm-hmm.